Hello and welcome to episode 129 of the podcast. As you can see, I am back from Norway. We came back last Wednesday evening, and it's Wednesday today, so we've been home for a week. I have got so much knitting to show you. I have finished, I finished something last week which I showed you, but I hadn't blocked it and I wasn't sure that I needed to add some more rows to it. Well, that's finished. I finished something else before we left Norway, which meant I also had to buy yarn on the last day and cast on something else. I shared last week that I hadn't bought any yarn. I filmed last week's like 2 days, I think, before we came home. So I did buy some yarn in Norway. Not too exciting, and then when we came home, I cast on something new, which I've already finished. So I got 3 finished projects to show you. A new work in progress. I got some new yarn, both from Norway and from here. I got some news by YarnAddict and some other news and a new magazine design. So lots and lots of stuff to share. So I hope you will get comfortable and enjoy this episode. If you're new here, my name is Anniken. I design knitting patterns, I teach knitting workshops online and in person, and I sell yarn through our website yarnaddict.co.uk. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up, and if you haven't subscribed yet, please consider subscribing. Before we get started on what I've been knitting, let me just tell you about some of the stuff that's coming up so I don't forget. I've been teaching twice since I came home and I got lots of workshops coming up. So let's just go through some of the stuff that's in the diary for the next month. Next week, 28th and 29th of September, I will be at Yarndale in Yorkshire, Skipton in Yorkshire. So if you're coming along, do come and say hello. I'm not sure which stall I'm on. I need to double check to see if they've sent all that out, but I'm normally in about the same place. But you know, if you want to find me, you'll find me. So I'll have lots of yarn, patterns, beads, knitting notions and fun things, and my books, Beaded Lace Knitting and Easy Lace Knits. So that's 28th and 29th, and one of those days is also our wedding anniversary. It's 33 years. So yeah, our wedding anniversary very often coincides with Yarndale. And then the following week, on the 4th of October, I'm teaching at the Knitting Hotel. That's like a long weekend retreat, and I do 1-day workshop there on the Friday. That may already be full for the weekend. but they quite often will allow a day guest as well. So if you're local and you just want to come for the day on the Friday for the workshop, or if you want to come for the whole weekend as a day guest, it's always worth contacting Belinda at the Knitting Hotel. The website is always linked below, or check out her Instagram, which is also the Knitting Hotel, because there might be spaces left, or she may get the last minute cancellation, or she may be able to take a day guest, especially if you're local and you haven't got to worry about booking accommodation. Coming as a day guest last minute might be work out for you, but that's all beyond my control. So do contact Belinda and see what she says. And then on the Saturday, the 5th of October, I've got a local event, 3 bags full. Wool Market. It's a local event in Liscard where I live. It's from, I think it's 11 to 5. And I will be selling all my stuff there. So patterns, yarns, beads, notions, my books, everything. So it'll be like a mini version, slightly smaller version of my Yarndale store, because I haven't got as much space. Yarndale, I think I got 4 tables. At 3 bags full, I got 2, so it'll be a bit less. But then the following week, I have loads of workshops in Liscard in Cornwall. I have an Intarsia workshop on the Tuesday, that's half day, learning how to work Intarsia colour work. And on the Thursday, 10th, I have beginner brioche. So if you're brand new to brioche, or you've had a go at brioche but you're really struggling to get the hang of it, come along to that. That's half a day. And on the 11th, I've got a full day Farewell cushion. So looking to see if my Farewell cushion is here. It's not. It's normally here, but I can't see it. But we are knitting my Diamonds Are Forever cushion. I may design another version of it, or an alternative to it. We just depends on how I do for time, because we're running out of time. But the idea was that we'll work on my Diamonds Are Forever cushion. And then the following week, I have on the 17th of October, I have again in Liscard in Cornwall, brioche improvers workshop. So if you've had a go at basic brioche and you got the hang of that and you want to learn more brioche skills and improve your brioche and do increases and decreases to create beautiful brioche patterns like this, then that's on the 17th. That's half a day. And then on the 18th and 19th, I am back at the Knitting Hotel in Dawlish in Devon, and I'm doing finishing techniques on the Friday and beaded lace knitting on the Saturday. Again, if you're interested, contact Belinda to see if there are spaces, or if she can do a day guest or anything like that. And then on the 25th of October, I've got another day at the Knitting Hotel on the Friday for brioche knitting. And on the 29th of October, I'm teaching my clutch bags at Spinny Yarn. So let me just show them to you in case you're new here. Teaching my beaded clutch bag, my glamour clutch. I will also bring my colourwork clutch, which I don't know where it is. It's not here. But my beaded clutch, and I will bring my colourwork clutch as well. And you learn how to knit a clutch, and you'll get the clutch frame to go with that as well. I'll bring that as well. And then on the Saturday, the 2nd of November, this is the last one I'm going to do. It is Stitch Fest in Newton Abbot in Devon, and I am teaching finishing techniques on the Saturday morning, half a day, and then I'm going to hang around the show and have a wander around in the afternoon. And then the next day, after Stitch Fest, I am off to Wales to stay with my daughters, and then the day after that, my youngest daughter and I are off to Norway. So very busy autumn ahead. So let's talk about what I've been knitting. Let's start by talking about what I talked about last week. I showed you the finished brioche cowl last week, but I hadn't blocked it. Now, I didn't measure it before I blocked it because I didn't think it'd block out this big, but it is quite a bit wider than what it was last week. My only regret with this is that I did 2 colour beads, so you can see these stand out quite well. Then on this side I did purple beads, and they really don't stand out very well at all. So I kind of wish I'd done the lighter colour, the like lavender beads on both sides, because I think they would have looked a lot better. But I blocked this a couple of days ago, and then I sewed it together last night. It's a bit difficult to sew it together because because of the brioche pattern, when you block the ends, they're not straight basically. So trying to sew it together is a little bit challenging. But I did want this to be like an infinity scarf. So that's what my seam looks like. So let me just put it on quickly. So you can wear it loose like this, and it kind of comes down to like just below my bust, top of my belly. Or the idea is that you can wrap it around like this and wear it like a cow. And I think that looks really good with brioche because brioche is double-sided and you can see the beads. So I'm really excited about this. This is really nice. I like it worn like this. I was slightly worried that I should have made it slightly longer. I probably had enough yarn to do at least one more repeat. I think the repeats were 10 rows long, but I kind of wanted to finish it because I was getting a bit, I just wanted to finish it basically. But I probably should have done another repeat, maybe two. I definitely had enough to do one repeat. I could have probably done 2 repeats. Normally I allow like a 10% safety margin, but because this is Kiviot and it's not cheap yarn and it's something I bought many years ago, it's been in my stash for a long time, at least 10 years, maybe it's close to 15 years, I'm not sure. So I wanted to like make the most of it. So that's why I was thinking about using up all of it rather than allowing like a 10% safety margin. But I also didn't want it too long, so I probably could have done another repeat or two. But once I blocked it, I actually clipped it together before I sewed it together just to make sure it's long enough. I really like this. Very light, it's incredibly soft. I can't find the yarn labels. I brought them upstairs the other day so I wouldn't lose them, but my desk is a mess and I can't find them. But the yarn is Kiviak from Windy Valley, I think it is. It's Kiviat, but they call it Kiviak because I actually messaged them on Instagram, and you can't trademark Kiviat because it's the fibre that comes off a muskox. So they changed it to Kiviak so they can trademark it so that it's obvious that it comes from their fibre and it's their kind of high standard. I think that's what they said. So one is Kiviat and silk. I think the lighter colour is Kiviat and silk, and the darker colour was Kiviat, silk, and maybe merino. The lighter colour is a little bit shinier than the other ones. It's got more silk in it, but it's so soft. It feels very much like cashmere, but even softer. So obviously I appreciate that not everyone's going to be able to afford to buy Kiviat. It's very expensive yarn. It's only a tiny ball, like 28.5 grams or something. But you can easily knit this in cashmere lace weight or merino lace weight, alpaca silk, you know, whatever you got hands on. So if you got like small amounts left from like a bigger shawl maybe or something like that, this will be perfect. I'm going to write up the pattern maybe this week, we'll see. I'm hoping to do it this week and send this off to my tech editor, and then hopefully I'll be able to publish the pattern sometime in October. But I'm hoping I can wear this when I go to Norway in November because it's so light, but it's going to be so warm. So I'm really excited about that, and I'm so happy I finally used this. Quite a few times I've got it out of my stash and I thought I really need to knit something with this, and I always thought I would do like a small lacy scarf or shawl. And then when I went through my stash in July, I found it again and I was like, I've got to nip with this because it's just too nice and too expensive to be sitting here. And then I decided maybe I should do brioche, and I'm so glad I did because I absolutely love this and it's gorgeous, and I can't wait till it's cold enough to wear it. It was really cold when we came back from Norway. The last couple of days in Norway were quite cold. The full week we had in Norway, so we arrived on the Friday, and then so like the full week we had the week after we arrived in Norway, it was like high 20s. When we went to Oslo, it was 27 degrees. And then the last couple of days, the temperatures dropped and it was quite chilly. But when we left Norway, we were catching the train from my parents' town about 5:40. We were at the station for 5:30 in the morning. And then we landed at London Stansted, north of London, at about midday, I think, because our flight was a bit delayed. And it was colder when we landed at Stansted than it was when we were standing at my parents' train station at 5:30 in the morning. And it was really cold the first few days, and then it's gotten warmer. And the last few days it's been sunny and nice and warm. And I just walked the dog just now wearing just jeans and t-shirt. I do tend to overheat a bit, possibly hormonal. I am trying various things at the moment to sort that out, but yeah, so very excited to finish that. And then also last week I was telling you that I was hoping to finish this hat before I left Norway, and I did. And I said that if I finished the hat I would have to go and buy some yarn, because I'd been to one yarn shop earlier in the trip and I hadn't bought any yarn. I had my mum buy some yarn, but I hadn't bought any yarn. And I was only going to buy yarn if I finished this hat. So on the last day, we didn't do a lot on the last day. We went out to a local town and had a walk around and had some cake, I think. And then we came home and I was doing knitting and I was trying to work out. I was nearly at the decreases at the top, and I thought I'm going to finish this tonight, and I can't not have any knitting for the travel home because we got the train into Oslo, then train out the other side to the airport. Don't think I knitted on the train. And then we had quite a few hours at the airport because we always like to get there early anyway. Then our plane was nearly an hour late, I think, so I knitted quite a bit at the airport. And then when we landed, we had the drive from London Stansted home, which is about, with a stop, I think it's about 6.5 hours. And I did knit quite a bit in the car, so I'm glad I got another project. But let me show you this hat first. So I bought a pom-pom yesterday when I was at Spinny Yarn, and this pom-pom is great because I can't remember what make it is because I've left the label downstairs, but you tie it on, so it's got this ribbon, so you just thread that through the fabric, which I did. I just put into a needle with like a big loop on the end. I have, let me just show you. I've got one here. I got these needles from Lantern Moon with like a big loop on the end, so I thread the ribbon through there and pulled it through to the inside of the hat. Now I'm not sure whether I like it with the pom-pom or not, but when I finished the hat in Norway, my mum said, oh, you need a pom-pom. And when I was at Spinny Yarn yesterday, I was paying for some other stuff, and on the table next to the desk there was a basket of pom-poms, and there was this pink one, and it's a little bit darker than my yarn, but I thought, oh, that looks nice, that will go with my yarn. So I must admit, I'm not a huge fan of hats. I always feel like I don't wear hats very well. But yeah, that's what it looks like with a pom-pom. I feel like if you're going to have a pom-pom, it's better if there's no slash at the top here. I do like a little bit of slash at the top here, but I can pull it further down and fold it up. But I feel like it's not enough to fold up to pull it all the way down. So I would probably add more rows to it so I could fold this up more, or wear it with a little bit of slouch, hang on, like that. So I don't know whether the pom-pom looks good or not. Let me know, what do you think? Pom-pom, no pom-pom? So let me take the pom-pom off and show you the hat and talk a bit more about the hat. So I like this pom-pom because you don't stitch, oh, my hair does not like this hat. I like this pom-pom because you don't stitch it on. It's easy to get on and off. And just undo the on the inside and pull it off. I think it's knitted like the Musselburgh hat from Isolde Teague. I haven't used the pattern. When I knitted my first one of these last winter, I did look of the pattern because I thought, should I just buy the pattern? And then because there are different versions and you're supposed to, you know, obviously knit the version that fits your tension, all that kind of stuff, and you can do different ways. I was like, oh, do I really need that? I can work out how to knit a hat that fits me, or fits my husband, because that's who I was knitting it for. So I just cast on. So I don't know if this is exactly the same as the Musselburgh hat, and I got no intention of publishing this pattern because there is already a very similar pattern. But I basically started here with a circular cast on. I used the, what's it called? Disappearing loop cast on. You can also use Emily Ocker's cast on, and then I increase, you increase in like a cross, you increase like 4 wedges if you like, and then you knit straight for a very long time, and then on this end you decrease, so you get like 4 lines of decreases. And then when I came home, so I finished this on the last day, like late afternoon, early evening I think, and then, or sometime in the evening, I can't remember. And then when I got home, I did actually block it. What I did was I washed it, and then I laid it out flat like that. I gave it a bit of a stretch in all directions just to even it out a bit. And then I just laid it on a blocking mat. I pinned it along the top edge so I could put the blocking mat upright and stick it on top of my radiator so it would dry quicker, because I only did it on Monday night I think, and I wanted it to be dry for today so that I could show it to you. But then obviously because I was teaching yesterday, obviously because it's 2 layers, it takes longer to dry. So you can wear it with the decreases out, or you can flip it inside out and wear it with the increases out. I actually prefer the look of the decreases. I am thinking about doing one with different colours on the inside and outside, so you can like flip it around and have different colours. But yeah, I really like it. So the yarn is Silver Sparkle Sock Yarn, which is 75% superwash merino, 25% nylon, 5% Selena, in the Barbie pink colorway from the Discreet Unicorn. And I've had it in my stash since earlier this year, I think. But yeah, I'm really happy with it. And when I got this yarn, I didn't know whether I wanted the DK weight or the 4-ply weight. I didn't really know what I was going to do with it. So I bought both. I bought the skein of both. And when I was knitting this, I was thinking I could really do a neck accessory that goes with it. So when I came home, I was going to say I didn't have anything on the needles. I did, because I cast them for a pair of socks when we left Norway. So I did have something on the needles. But I was teaching a Mobius workshop yesterday, and a few months ago, I haven't got it here because I left my workshop bag downstairs and it's in there. But a few months ago, or at the end of last year, I think it was last November, it's the December issue, so I guess it came out in November last year. I designed a cowl for the Knitter magazine using a king coal yarn, alpaca silk yarn, very, very soft, loads of drape. And that the publishing rights for those are now reverted to me. So I realized that last week when I was prepping for this workshop. So I decided I would knit it in the DK version of the Silver Sparkle from Discreet Unicorn. So in the same colorway as this. I only finished this last night and blocked it last night, and it is still slightly damp. So I got to lay it back down to dry when I finish this. But it's a Mobius with an eyelet pattern and then picots. Pico cast off. So let me just put it on. I love it. It's so gorgeous. I absolutely love it. Isn't that fabulous? I really like it. I just love that colour. It's my favourite pink, I think. So if I put that on and I put my hat on, isn't that going to be a fabulous winter accessory set? I love that. I'm really happy with it. So yeah, I'm really pleased. This took less than a skein. I am going to write up the pattern. Well, I have written up the pattern. It's I'm going to do the measurements and tension from this week, and then send it to my tech editor, hopefully by the end of the week. And my plan is to hopefully publish this in October sometime. I was looking for a yarn to knit it in that I stock in my online shop, and I was thinking maybe I can get ready for YarnAddict next week. But I thought that was going to be a bit too much. But I was actually thinking about using Manos del Uruguay Silk Blend, which is here in those two shelves. But that's literally all the silk blend I have left. And when I went to order more yarn for YarnAddict last week, my distributor, who distributes Manos del Uruguay, don't seem to have any silk blends. And I heard rumours earlier in the year that they were going to stop stocking it. So I don't know whether Manos will stop producing it or whether they're just not stocking it in the UK. I know for a DK yarn, because it comes in 50-gram skeins, it is quite expensive, I think. But everything I've used it for is like 1 or 2 skeins. I've done a few brioche cows, which is 2 skeins, and I thought this would be perfect because I thought I could do this out of 50 grams. I haven't actually weighed that to see how much it weighs, but it is less than 50 grams. But I am going to publish a pattern in that yarn. I'm getting some, I think I'm going to order it this afternoon or tomorrow morning, some Knit Pro Symphony yarn in the Viva, which is what I knitted this in. I'm going to get some of that for YarnAddict. So I might knit this cowl again in that for like future shows. Because when I do shows, I like to display a sample in a yarn that I stock. I will not display this at a show, even though I love it, because I don't stock the yarn. So I wouldn't display that at a show. I only display samples at a show that I stock the yarn for. Because otherwise people say, I want to buy that yarn. And I'm like, well, I don't have it. And I don't actually know if the Discreet Unicorn, whether she's going to be at YarnAddict or whether she even does shows. I'm not sure. So I may reknit it, but I decided to do it in that yarn because it suits my hat. This is the sparkle version as well. Sparkle is quite subtle, so I'm really excited about that, and I hopefully have the pattern out in October. So that's another accessory set I will probably be taking to Norway with me in September. I'm not sure that I need both this scarf and this. may have a look and see what the weather forecast is like, because if it doesn't look like it's going to be really cold, I probably don't need a hat. If I'm taking the hat, I have to take the pink cowl. If I'm not taking the hat, I might just take this. If I am taking a suitcase with me, I can take both. But if I'm traveling with backpack only, I can't take both because I've got space. Don't know whether I mentioned it last week, but I have lots of clothes of my parents. But I have lost a bit of weight. I've lost 7 kilos so far in the summer, and if I lose more, I might get to the point where the clothes I have in Norway are too big. A lot of my tops are already starting to be too big for me, but my jeans still fit me. They're like skinny jeans from Marks and Spencer's, jeggings, and they still fit me, and that's the trousers I got in Norway. So motivation to lose weight is so that I lose enough before I go to Norway. So I have to take a suitcase with me and basically clear out the clothes I've left of my parents and give them to charity, and then bring new clothes to leave there, which means I have to bring a suitcase, which means I can bring more stuff with me. It also means I can buy some yarn to bring home. So that's my motivation. Okay, so let's talk about the next thing I've got on the needles. So after I finished that hat on the last day of our holiday, I popped down in the afternoon to the local yarn shop. My parents live in a town called Vestby. It's about just under half an hour train, 25 minutes train from Oslo. I wouldn't recommend going there just for the yarn shop because there's loads of yarn shops in Oslo, but there is a really nice yarn shop there. It's got fabric and yarn, and it's quite big. I must admit, there was another yarn shop there in the local shopping centre which was smaller, but I did prefer the other yarn shop because it was a bit friendlier, although the two ladies who were in the shop when I was there this time were really, really friendly and just left me alone to shop. But the owner, who I don't think will see this, she wasn't there this time, but if she's there, she tends to kind of follow you around a bit. So she'll ask if you need help and you'll say, no, thank you, I'm just looking. And then she'll just kind of follow you around, which I don't like. Because even though I knew I was coming in for sock yarn, I wanted to have a look at the rest of it. They also do quite a lot of fabric, and I did a very short video clip because I wasn't sure that the owner was there. And I know they got video cameras and stuff, so I just wasn't sure that it was okay to film it there, and also I didn't ask. But the two ladies who were there were really lovely. So I'm going to show you a little bit clip from there now. So as you can see, they have loads of yarn and loads of fabric. So the yarn I got from them was Regia in this colorway. They had another colorway as well in like a purple and blue colorway, which I'm sure I've knitted with before. I don't have any socks in it now, but I'm sure I've owned that colorway before, a very similar one. But I saw this and I really liked that, so I got that. It's the Regia Design Line Jazz Color by Erica Knight. Oh, I didn't know Erica Knight had done colors for Regia. And it is colorway 06450 05. I'm gonna try again. 06450. the 06450. And it has greys, greens, and like a neon green, light green, yellowy colour. So I cast on for a pair of socks. I decided to do toe up. The socks I've just finished for my husband. I've only finished the first one, that one. If I had taken the second one of this one with me to Norway, that would have been fine. I wouldn't have bought any yarn, but because I haven't cast on for the second one yet, but I didn't do that, so I had to cast on for a new sock. I still haven't cast on for the second one of these. I just checked earlier. I finished this before we went on holiday, and I need to cast on for the second one. I'm pretty sure I talked about this sock in the last podcast before we went on holiday. In fact, I was thinking about it earlier on, and I couldn't remember whether I'd done these toe up or top down, and I've just looked. The only difference is I can see I've done decreases on the toe instead of increases, so I might cast on for that this afternoon. But I did cast on for this Regia sock. I decided to do toe up, and I can't remember, I knitted most of this, I think, on last Wednesday when we were travelling home. I must have knitted, I think I cast on for the toe and knitted a few rounds on the toe on Tuesday evening, and then knitted most of the rest of it on the way home on Thursday. I've done, I can't remember whether I did the short row heel or not. So what I've done is, I've done this on one pair of socks before, and I want to try and do it again, but I was a bit worried about doing it on this yarn because it is a self-striping yarn, but it is random stripes. And what I do when I do short row heels, because short row heels for me doesn't create enough of a gusset of kind of fabric across the highest part of my foot, so I like to add a gusset. So I got to where that yellow marker is. I had to stop filming and run downstairs and get the door. My husband had to run downstairs and get the door when just after I started filming, and might have heard him earlier in this podcast running down the stairs. I had a big box of yarn for YarnAddict, and now I just had bees, so I'm a bit out of breath because I've run up the stairs. Right, okay, let's carry on. So I'm not sure where I got to, but to make it fit better on my foot, I add a bit of a gusset. So I started increasing there. I increased 20 stitches, so 10 on each side, and then I did a short row. Let me just find a sock blocker to put this on, because then you can probably see better. And this is a German short row heel. I'm quite happy with this one. I don't tend to love short row heels, but that's quite good. And then I'm decreasing the gusset now. I think I've got one round of decrease. Yeah, one round of decreases left, and I've done that this morning on my break, so I'm quite happy with those. But what I was worried about, when you start increasing for the gusset, obviously you get more stitches. If you have self-striping yarn, that tends to interfere with the striping, but I don't think it's really obvious here that it's interfered with the striping. Maybe a little bit here, but not massively. It doesn't like scream at you like it's different, I don't think. So I'm going to put in this marker to mark where I got to now. And I did think this morning, do I carry on and finish this, or do I carry on and knit the second sock for my husband? And I think I'm going to finish this sock, and then I might cast on for the second one of this and knit that, and then finish the one for my husband. Going to Yorkshire next week for YarnAddict, so my plan is to take these two socks and knit on in the car and at YarnAddict, because during the show there's always going to be quiet times when you can knit. So that's my plan. I'll talk more in a minute about other projects I got planned, because I need to make a decision about a couple of projects today, because I need to get another main project on the needles, because if I'm just knitting on the socks, these will be done by the end of today. So that was the yarn I got from Norway. And then yesterday when I was teaching at spinny yarn, as well as that pom-pom, which is gorgeous, I got some yarn. So when I sat down, next to where we had the workshop was a wall of sock yarn, and I always see something there I like, and I quite often end up buying a ball of sock yarn when I'm there teaching. And I saw this one. It's James C. Brett. I can't remember how much I paid for it, but it wasn't a lot. It's quite an affordable sock yarn. And I didn't actually see what... Oh yeah, it's... I'm just thinking, is it actually wool or is it acrylic, but no, it's wool. So it's 50% superwash wool, 25% polyamide, and 25% bamboo. I have knitted with socks with yarn with bamboo before, but much more bamboo, I think. This is only 25%. Wouldn't say you can feel that it has bamboo in it, because bamboo can be a bit silky, looking like silk, but it's not. So it's 40-degree wash on a cool wash. So even though it's superwash wool, you still got to be a bit careful, I think, about washing it. But I wash it all on a wool wash anyway. A washing machine also broke down before we went on holiday, and we were going to order one while we were away. And I thought we would order one beginning of the holiday so that it would be delivered when we came back, and then we completely forgot about it. So we ordered a couple of days before we came back, so it's not coming till Monday. So we've been without a washing machine, which is a pain. But normally I will wash my socks on a 30-degree wool wash, unless I forget and accidentally put them on a 40-degree wash, which has happened. But this is James C. Brett's Sunny Feets with a Z, so FEETZ. And yeah, I think it's quite good fun. Colourful yarn. I like those colours. I don't know whether they will be my next pair of socks after the ones I'm working at the moment or not, but we'll see. It'll go into my sock yarn stash at the top there, and then at some point they will become socks. Okay, so another thing I brought back from Norway, which I wanted to show you. So my grandmother was really into crochet, and she passed away just after my oldest daughter was born. Vanessa was about 6 months old when my grandmother passed away. She used to do loads of crochet with really fine crochet cotton thread. I cannot do the stuff that she's done. And my mum's got this chest in her kitchen, old chest, which I'm hoping I will eventually end up getting. And in there are some tapestries and some woven wall hangings and things that various family members have made, and some of my grandmother's old crochet doilies and tablecloths. Now I have quite a few of her doilies downstairs. I've got a blue one, navy blue one, which is on my dining room, which is on my coffee table. And then I got some red ones that I bring out every Christmas, and I got some pink ones as well. But it's like a sort of dusky, what I would call what we call in Norwegian gammelrosa, which is old pink, old-fashioned pink. I don't know. And they're not my favorite pink. So when I was looking through this and I saw this, I was like, can I have that? So I brought it home with me. So it's this, and you see the color, you can see why I wanted it. So this is a doily, a round one. So this is going to replace my navy blue one on my coffee table, and that's it folded in half. So that's going to go on my coffee table when I go downstairs after this. And then there was also two smaller ones, which I'll probably just store for now because I don't quite know where to put those. So they're just going to go in the into storage with the rest of my crochet doilies, but the purple one's going to go on my coffee table. So I thought I would show you that as well. Let me know if you've got things like that that's been made by your mother, your grandmother, grandfather, aunts, uncles, whatever, and if you kept them. And would you put a crochet doily on your coffee table, or do you think it's a bit old-fashioned and a bit not something you would have out, kind of thing, not modern enough? I quite like it, so I'm going to put it down. Okay, because I filmed this in two parts, I have no idea how long this video is becoming, but I'm going to share some yarn that arrived while I was away, like the day before I came home, I think. So I ordered some yataghan before I went to Norway, because I know it takes a few weeks to get here. And I ordered loads of merino cotton for the clutch bags, for the colour clutch and the glamour clutch earlier in the summer. But I forgot to order yellow. And even though the yellow is probably not the most popular colour, I do have a sample using the yellow, and I quite like the yellow. So I bought a bag of yellow. So that's for Yarndale. And then I also bought more yataghan organic trio, because I have the Murana shawl that I re-knitted when we were in Spain in June in this yarn. I haven't photographed it yet. I might just print off the pattern with the old photos of it knitted in a different yarn, because the yarn it was originally knitted in is very similar to this yarn. It looks very similar, and the colours look quite similar to two of the colours I have in this. I might just print that off as it is, then display my new sample on the stall at Yarndale. unless I get around to photographing it this week, because I've started printing off patterns and stuff now, because that takes a few days. So I got 4 new colorways. I have some pale pink and some green. A lot of the colors are quite pale and sort of pastel-y. I used this colorway because I had this colorway, but I used it for my sweater that I knitted in the spring. I was wearing it when I went to Norway in May. I wore it on the way to Norway for like 10 minutes at the train station in Oslo, and then that's all I wore because it was too hot. But I got a pack of that. I got a pack of this one. This colour I really like. I might have knit a sweater in that. I want to wear the one I knit in the spring a bit and see what it's like, how it wears, how it feels like warmth wise, and if it stretches and all that kind of stuff before I knit any more in this. I got a light grey one and I got a dark grey one. But when I had this yarn from another supply, which it's not the same yarn, but it was very similar. It wasn't very popular, I'm going to admit. I knitted a couple of shawls in it. It wasn't selling particularly well, so I'm worried that this may not sell well. I'm hoping because I have a new version of the Murana shawl, people will see that and buy the yarn to go with that shawl. It is a really lovely yarn. It's merino cotton. What's it? Organic merino. So it's 50% organic merino, 25% organic cotton, 25% silk. So it is a really nice yarn, and if the knits are really lovely, it's a beautiful fabric. But I bought colours that I like, because I thought, well, if I don't sell it, I can always use it for sweaters myself in the future, because I really like the yarn. But I'm hoping it will sell. So if you come into Yarndale, check it out and let me know what you think. Right, one more yarn acquisition before we finish. This arrived, I ordered it before I went to Norway. I can't remember when I ordered it, but it was on pre-order, because it was a dyed to order listing from Spectrum Fibre, and it's the new neon net that a lot of the indie dyes in the UK are currently selling. So it's got all these colourful neon neps, and it is in the colourway Lilac. So it's neon neps double knit, 100 gram, 212 meters, 85% superwash merino, 15% neon Donegal. I already had the last one, Spectrum Fibre. I already had this from the Discreet Unicorn, which is the same base that I got a few months ago. This is the Barbie Pink base, colorway, sorry, so it's the same colorway as this, but it's a bit lighter, so that might just be a different dye lot, or that dyes up a bit lighter on this. So when I got this earlier this year from the Discreet Unicorn, I also got that, and I believe this is the undyed colorway. And let's just put like a very pale yellow on it, but I believe that's what it comes like when it's undyed. So it's not like a completely white yarn, but I believe this is, I might be wrong, but I think this is what it was like when it was undyed. So you got all these neon neps. So my plan was to do something with those two together, but I wasn't 100% sure about that. And then when Spectrum Fibre released this neon nep collection, I looked at colorways and I thought, oh, I like that. Those two would go really well together. And even though they're different dyes, they are the same yarn. Just checking. Yes, I'm pretty sure it's the same base because it looks the same. So I'm going to use those two for something. I do want to do a brioche clutch like my Glamour clutch, which I showed you earlier. I did a brioche clutch for a magazine, knitting magazine, earlier this year, and when that pattern is out of copyright or publishing rights revert to me, I will publish that pattern. But I want to make one that's slightly bigger with a slightly different brioche pattern. I've kind of been thinking about it all summer, because I was thinking I would love to do for Yarndale, and then I just never got around to it. But I am thinking I might actually use these two, because I don't know what else to use 2 skeins of DK yarn for. I could make a cowl with it, but I have several brioche cowls, and I have that pink sangria cowl I just knitted. So I don't know if I need another Barbie pink cowl, but I think these would look really nice together for the brioche clutch. So I don't know whether to cast that on now and do another small project. That's probably something I could knit in a few days. If I cast on, I could probably finish it by the end of this week, I would guess. two more things to talk about quickly and then we're done. So I got a feeling this is going to be long. So last week I released a video that I filmed part of it a few months ago when I finished my design for this, and part of it I filmed in Norway last week. And it is the Knitter issue 206, and it's 206? Yes, it's 206. And I did a video last week talking about my pattern for this issue. Let me just show you what it looks like. 48. So in the video I released last week, I talked about my pattern for this issue and I show you some of the other things that are in this issue. So I'm not going to do that now. I'm just going to show you my design, and then you can go and watch last week's video, which I'll link below, and I'll also link it at the end of this video. So that is my design for this issue of the Knitter magazine. It's a sideways knitted top with like lace on the yoke. Very simple, but really good fun. So excited about that. That's in the shops in the UK now. It's been in the shops for a couple of weeks maybe. And then this week on Tuesday, my video which I released was a review of the Rico Neon Sock Yarn. Now I've done 2 socks in this yarn, and they're both in the washing basket at the moment because I haven't been able to wash any socks since before we went on holiday, and I had quite a few socks in my washing basket to wash before we went away. My plan had been to wash them before we went away, and then our washing machine broke about 5 or 6 days before we went on holiday. So they're still in the washing basket, and I don't fancy fishing out dirty socks to wash it. So I don't fancy fishing out dirty socks to show you. Well, they're not that dirty because I only wear them around the house. But I knit 2 pairs of socks in the Rico design, the Rico Neon Sock Yarn. And I did a little bit of a video to do like a review of them, tell you what I think of it, because it's quite an affordable sock yarn, but how good is it? So obviously these are my initial reflections, and having worn them and washed one of the pairs a couple of times, there was a couple of things I wasn't happy about, so I talked about those. But obviously I haven't worn them for a long time, but I thought maybe next year I might do another video talking about how they're worn over the long term, if you like. So that was on the video on the YouTube channel this Tuesday this week, so do go and check that out. I'll link that below and at the end of this video. So I think this video is going to be quite long, so I'm going to stop talking now because I filmed it in 2 lots. I don't know how long the first bit was before I had to go downstairs and get this parcel. But I hope you enjoyed today's episode, even if it is a bit long. As you know, I've had loads of knitting to show you, and hopefully I'll have a lot of knitting to show you next week as well. Thank you for watching. I really appreciate it. If you like this video, don't forget to like it and subscribe and leave me a comment. And if you're already a subscriber and a long-time supporter, I really appreciate it. I absolutely love doing these videos and it's so much fun, so I really appreciate it. And I love reading all your comments, so please leave me a comment. Especially if you don't normally comment, do comment and say hello. And if you're a new subscriber and you just found me, or a new viewer, do say hello and introduce yourself in the comments, because I love chatting to you in the comments. So thank you very much. Right, that's it for this week. I will see you next week. Thanks for watching and have a lovely week.